What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday night, and we officially now are live. And yeah, cheers, Jerome Powell, from what turned out to be a pretty good day, all be all. Jerome Powell managed to put the stoppers on it, put the brakes on it, brought the T word up, which is never good. And we've subsequently, therefore, seen the price of Bitcoin fall again. Now, the bears are obviously going to be loving life, telling us they were going to freaking zero, and that we all should have got out. I'm sure they are. Is there any truth in that matter? We'll talk about that. A lot to get into tonight, as always, as you would expect. We'll talk a little bit about what Jerome specifically was talking about. And yet again, he continues to hold his name true, which is he's too late to inflation and he dumps the freaking market like a complete and utter chopper. Anyway, so we'll talk a bit about that. We'll talk a little bit about where could we be in the market? Are all the people calling this the end right? Oh, are they all wrong? We'll get into that, as well as anything and everything else that sort of comes up and gets in our way. So as always, make sure you smash up the like button to a brand new all-time high. That would be great if you could. And yeah, Chipper says Levi got suspended again for really? One on YouTube is wild. And yeah, let me know you're here. Drop a comment, say yo, what's going on? Too big. Devo's here. Look, Devo's in the house. What's going on, Devo? Good to see you, man. I'll show those bears what the top is. I mean, there has been some positives out there. I mean, yeah, if you're into particular altcoins, they've been performing pretty well. But yeah, we'll get into it. There's been some macro news as well, which I think is pretty optimistic. So all of that in tonight's live. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Let's say hello to a few people, and then we're going to get into it all. So, 37, good to see you. Craig, I don't think much of Pal's speech. I swear I heard it at 1. It was one and only rate cut, and he was blaming tariffs again. Yeah, exactly. The T word came out. I actually said this, you remember, on Sunday. I was like, I think the market's going to be fine this week, unless the freaking T word came out, and the T word came out today. Anyway, yeah, he was doing a lot of what he usually does if he doesn't answer it. Yeah, exactly that. Tim, what's going on, buddy? Robert Dover, 37. Welcome to the channel, members. Appreciate you guys jumping in. Curtis as well. Beebs in the building. What's going on? We had another channel member today. Alvin became a channel member, so shout out to him. I don't know if he's here, but shout out to Alvin. Vern, thank you so much for the heart maze, you legend. Obi Joe, what's going on? Says I'm super ill, so I'm just coming in to say hello and drop on like that. Hey, thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Tomato Pete, welcome in. Vern's here as well. Kevin Sexton, it's been a minute. Good to see you, pal. Welcome. Mark Noby, also looking fresh in that green. Love it, by the way. Love it, by the way. Gigex says, I need a pump, bro. I need to buy my new Lambo. Finally leave my job. But yeah, you and me both. Fitting cryptos in the house. What's all going on? Am I wrong, stream? This is like Zbit Crypto, Temu version. You know it, baby. Anyway, what's going on? Abby, welcome. Matthew's in the house. Davo's here, like I said. Also, Vern's in. 1233590. What's going on? Dump again. We're going to see some green. We were seeing green all the way until about 2 hours ago. And Jerome Powell decided that no green. No green. I'm going to drop the T word and cause all sorts of chaos. Anyway, Connor Price, good to see you, man. Green pushing tomorrow. Let's hope so. JJ in the building. What's going on, buddy? Welcome to everybody. Okay. Sit back, relax. You're with me for the next hour. Hopefully, we'll try and dive into some good news and I guess let's call it some realistic news. All right, let's call it that. Let's not call it like super overhyped lunatic news. Let's just talk about good news. All right. And what do you think of Propy? I do not know what that is. Or do I know what that is? Propy? Don't know. If it's DeFi, stick around. Vern, thank you so much. Okay. Right. Let's get into that's so annoying. I forgot I forgot I had that on there. Oops, sorry. Hold on a minute. I think it's that one actually. And then this one like that. Okay. All right, cool. So here we go then. Bitcoin price action on the daily candles. Okay, so this is kind of where we sit right now. A very important moment, which I didn't think I'd be talking about this, by the way. I definitely didn't think I would be in a world of discussing the rate cuts. Okay, I generally was in a bit like I think it's going to be a bit more positive this week. However, we are where we are, and we sort of either have a choice of either just sulking or finding our ways out of it. Okay, so here you go, Bitcoin on the daily, currently holding 111,850, actually starting to push a little bit further back to the upside on the daily chart. You can see here, we did actually wick up and BTC to around 113.3. If you go to the short time frames, you can see that and how that played out over the course of, well, the early hours for me, really. A lot of this push down, though, in the market has come since the Jerome Powell speech, in which he talked about a couple of things. One, rate cut, monetary policy is tight. We also then know that the jobs market is weakening. Tariffs, they're still not sure the impact, etc., 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 right? You may also, or you may sort of get into a place where you think, well, maybe it's kind of deliberate. Like, we haven't talked about tariffs now for about 4 weeks. All of a sudden, Powell's like, get him by himself. Get him in a context where he is giving his view as opposed to maybe the monetary policy of others. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, tariffs are pretty crap out there. Anyway, it's still, in my opinion, not the worst thing in the world, okay? I know lots of people still think the bear market's here, and lots of people have been, bearish posting on X today saying, well, I told you this is what was going to happen. The market's over. We should have sold at 121. All right, cool. Well, maybe I get it wrong. Maybe everyone else gets it wrong, but I think if we lose the 0.5 Fibonacci, 111,400, then, I'd probably be a little bit like, oh, this could get tasty. And retest probably the 108. So I am looking for a significant bounce off the 111,400, which so far, so good, I think is fair to say. You can see here, look, on the 4-hour chart, how this is playing out on the very similar timeframes on the Fibonacci. So actually, we are bouncing a little bit off this. However, it feels, and it's just my opinion, by the way, people may think I'm a crazy person, the market feels super weak right now, super weak. People are nervous. What you can see, again, though, is we see a little bit coming out of Treasury yields, which, again, supports a little bit more of a broader market uptrend that could be coming around the corner, as opposed to everybody dumping into bonds and Treasury yields. The only one that isn't playing out favorably is gold continues to rally to a new all-time high, which we don't want to see. But on the positive, the XRP Rex Osprey ETF actually went green today. And there's still a little bit of green out there, albeit not in the coins that you kind of hoped it would be, but you still got some coins out there that are green. We'll touch on that in just a minute. So where we sit with BTC, it is sort of where it is. But the macro, in my view, still playing out pretty optimistically. And I'm not going to panic on what? I mean, we've had 3 days that you'd argue have been some pretty strong selling in the markets. While at the same time, and I will sort of jump forward a little bit here, while at the same time, you have actually had institutional buying. The only debate is all of these numbers I actually think are all false. And I know this sounds like a crazy statement to say, but I think they are. I think they're a super lagging indicator that's not really showing true, because it's got down today that iShares bought 2,134 Bitcoin. I don't think they did. Now, I'm looking into it to give you an update, but obviously it did apparently update by 9:07. I don't think these numbers are right. I could be wrong, by the way, but I think that's pretty much what happened yesterday. I actually don't think anything happened. You can see there that IBIT for yesterday was a 0 purchasing. So pretty interesting. What's going on, Brandon Harris? So anyway, we'll keep a close eye on that. And then, like we said, altcoins in the main, not great. Albeit ETH down 1% is not the end of the world. Could come a little bit lower. Could a retest of 4,000 potentially. Keep your eyes on that one. Again, Solana 214 has lost the trend. You can see here, look, we did lose that today. So Solana is unfortunately now very much in a bearish sentiment. Where are we going to see? Maybe it retests 210. Maybe it goes a little bit deeper. Not sure. XRP holding 285. BNB, though, still on the move. Good news, all right? BNB still printing a few hours in there. Again, good to see that. Rest of the market, not too great. All right, will there be financial taking a big old dump? Called this in the... This went into the trade signal group in the for channel members. If you want to be a channel member, by the way, find the link in the description. It's cost you a few bucks a month to get access to our premium Discord, as well as everything else. But actually, we talked about this line being a key level on World Elite Financial. Did lose it. So we could actually now see this probably come a little bit deeper. Could we revisit 1863? Maybe. This is something we were talking about. Could absolutely come down there. And then in the other side of that, we actually had Asta going freaking crazy. Now, you can't deny this. Broke above $2.13, which is pretty insane. While at the same time, BNB holding up pretty well. So is there more room to grow? Specifically when it comes to Asta? Maybe. Maybe. You guys heard that I actually took a position in this a couple of days ago, actually. Turned out pretty well. I did short the market from the top, though, because I was like, yeah, this feels like super crazy. So I did actually take out some of my spot positions, shorted a little bit on the top. Nothing wild, like 30x leverage, nothing crazy. But yeah, so turned out pretty well. Asta actually playing out very favorably. The debate now is how high it's going to go and how much leverage this can have. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but Asta is actually forming a pretty strong bit of momentum, so keep your eyes peeled on that. And then in terms of the altcoin, the meme coin market pump, now revisiting the 5s. may give an opportunity short term, and then, like I said, a bit more in the macros kind of thing. So for me, definitely a key moment for us when it comes to Bitcoin right now. We're going to have to stay close to this and see how this forms over the course of probably the next 12 hours, I think. Not really too much going on at a macro level for us to get super crazy bullish, but yeah, certainly worthwhile thinking about, I think, anyway. Jesse, what's going on, buddy? Cheese in the house. I did an Ask the Dance earlier. We're heading $10 plus. Let's get it, Tim. Can't deny it. And, while it's on BNB, it's looking pretty crazy as well. I think gold is the market's Rudolph as long as it's flying. I mean, that's true as well. The Momo Army in the house. What's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Max Headroom says XRP. So you say 30x leverage is nothing crazy. I was getting told off for being crazy with 30x leverage. Depends what your margin is. Depends what your margin is, and depends what you're trading on volatility as well. But if you've got bigger margins, then, 30x leverage isn't actually that much. If you're trading 30x leverage with a very small margin, then yeah, that's going to be a problem. Just my opinion anyway. Just my opinion. RTY bro, new all-time high. Trust me, we're going up. Okay, well, definitely stick around. Let me know in the DeFi section, which will be in about 20 minutes time. We'll take a look at it for sure. So yeah, anyway, right, let's keep going. Can you look at Epic, please, Sean? Yes, just remind me in like 20 minutes. BitTensor Army, what's going on? Litecoin, holy crap, people are still bullish on Litecoin. That's wild. Don't forget, if you could just share the stream out, I would appreciate it. Likewise, you can do that by simply hitting the like button and tapping that screen here on TikTok. That massively helps out. Likewise, on YouTube, just go and find that thumbs up, give it a little tap. It makes you feel better if it's any consolation. Crowman, welcome, buddy. What's going on? Good to see you. As always, we appreciate it. Okay. Read the whole week. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Where are we playing out as? I mean, it's a pretty red week in fairness. As we sit right. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. As we sit right now, it is a fairly pants week, you'd argue. And just to give you the context of that, it's a 3% decline. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't go up. All right, doesn't mean that we can't go up, and doesn't mean that we can't, form an ISO print. Look at this on the weekly chart, respecting those fib levels. That's how you know that this is going to be super important. 111. 411. All the ones with a 4 chucked in it. Keep your eyes peeled, all right? It's going to be important to think about. Okay. The big debate, though, is are we in a bear trap? This has been something that I discussed in my earlier Bitcoin video. If you caught that on your YouTube channel, thanks. If you didn't, then don't go and watch it. I said, sorry, go and watch it, not don't go watch it. What's going on, Art Caffeine? Holy crap, been a minute. So, again, there's a debate right now that are we in the bear trap? The bear trap aligning very much to our previous market cycles. And this is obviously part of the next big push to the upside. Renewed optimism coming in, FOMO, and then the all-time high of euphoria. Everyone thinks we're going higher. Everyone thinks we're going crazy. And celebrities are coming out saying, hey, I just watched this 2-bit guy and he thinks he knows what he's talking about. Anyway, the debate is, have we got this to come? Or are we in the, the lower high? Did we end up getting wrecked? Are we coming down the other side? That's the question, isn't it? Only time is going to tell out. But my view, by the way, is I definitely would argue that I think we're in this rail here. Given the adoption rate we have from institutional buying and everything else, I'm probably in a world where I think we're going way, way higher. Again, just my opinion, by the way. Could be totally wrong. But when you start to look at some key indicators like gold, and again, important that we talked about gold right at the very start, Bitcoin versus gold becomes pretty interesting, and specifically the correlation between those two things. Why? Well, the reality is that the quarterly correlation, Bitcoin versus gold, ultimately is telling us about risk-off sentiment. When the correlation is under zero, BTC and gold move in the same direction. Watch closely. This is going to be a key thing. Remember, people are choosing to go into gold right now as a belief that that is a safer haven. I need to just do that, by the way. It's a safer haven than we've got with digital assets, okay? So you've got people kind of just jumping into gold, and it's good to see treasury yields, by the way, not going up today. We are preparing. Yeah, October could be super bullish as well. We have got a good month in October coming up, so... But interesting how Bitcoin and gold can move together when investors get nervous. It's becoming more of a safe haven asset, which kind of lines up with what Charles has been saying about the evolving role in the market. So again, we're thinking about particularly gold and Bitcoin and how that can play out over the course, certainly, of the next few weeks. Now, what's also worth noting, by the way, is that all of the positives on the S&P 500 have been wiped out. Pretty interesting. Why? Well, the reality is that we have got over leveraged and that got shaken out. And, well, basically, Jerome Powell just said that there's no more rate cuts. The market priced in this move on the FOMC. The market's priced in 25 basis points. Everyone got hyped about the potential of more. Jerome Powell kind of scuppering those plans. Don't think it's too crazy. Bear in mind, there's a lot of variables. Obviously, you know, his view was data dependent, that they will make their decision based on that. But again, it's important to just reference where we are and what is coming. Pretty much the sentiment, by the way, is still very bullish for rate cuts. All right, we're still in that place. I think a lot of data is going to have to wash through before we get to that point, but it is worth thinking about it. And I guess, look, in terms of kind of the summary around the back of it, he did talk about two-sided risks. Inflation is still sticky, and that was kind of the sentiment around the 25 basis points. What did the market think of it? Oh, no, there's going to be no more rate cuts. So, you know, no commitment in terms of we're going to see some more. The markets obviously expect it, but yeah. And his view on policy, as per Stephen Mirren that we talked about yesterday, was modestly restrictive. All right, so worthwhile thinking about as that goes in. But general sentiment is actually we could see a little bit more. And then look at this, fear and greed index rolling over back to fear. I mean, it's a wild ride, isn't it? If it's your first ever bull market, it's a wild freaking ride. Sometimes it's hard to keep up with it. Sometimes it's hard to kind of just keep your focus, keep, you know, on what's coming. But yeah, fear and greed back into the fear category. 43 out of 100, and altcoin season is officially cancelled. So, you know, it's all that kind of stuff, isn't it? Oh no, we've got a 2-bit crypto UK joining with 2 T's. Don't message him, it's a scammer. Scammer. All right, don't message it. If I message you, by the way, on TikTok saying, hey, did you have a great stream? That's not me. I don't message you. Simply jump in our Discord. That's where you'll find me. My name is in red, and then you can message me over there, right? Don't message me on TikTok unless we've already chatted, or you simply click at the top here, which should have my little profile here, right? Clearly, if I'm joining a stream, that's not me. So yeah, fear and greed, obviously watch this play out, okay? Couple of important things to think about. Right, that's some charts. Bitcoin is trying to rally back up, by the way. Let's go, excuse me. Let's go to the 1 hour chart and just sort of see where this ultimately could play out, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. It is going to play pretty annoying. We need to put that in there. So we need to put that Fibonacci at 111,715. There we go. That is kind of what we were looking at in terms of the Fibonacci. Let's see what it plays out like over the course of the time that we are live. Right, let's close this down. Okay, let's get to a little bit of news, a little bit of market context. That's what we need. This could give us the theory then as to whether we're going up, down, shake it all around, or basically doing nothing. First, don't forget, though, do absolutely smash the like button. It massively helps out. If you want to be a brand new subscriber, hit that subscribe button as well. And don't forget, if you want to get access to our Discord, it's free, but if you want access to our alpha calls, trade alerts, as well as brand new coins hitting the market, simply become a subscriber here on TikTok or become a channel member on YouTube. It's going to cost you about $6 or $7 a month. Highly worth it, in my opinion. Again, not expected, but if you want to support the channel, then go for it. Wait, 2 bits. So that wasn't you messaging me last night about midnight while I was trying to... Yeah, it wasn't me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. I hate to break it to you, but it wasn't me. Anyway, Jerome Powell asserts US importers, not consumers, are bearing the tariff brunt. Okay, now, again, this was not just a, oh, well, tariffs, we're not sure about. This was a full-on tariffs are a fucking problem, all right, which is kind of wild. The approach aimed at limiting long-term inflation signals that tariffs may not significantly affect digital assets, which I think is fair. Maintaining market stability in crypto despite broader macroeconomic concerns. This is why we see the sell-off in the S&P 500 on the back of, well, what has been a pretty strong week. Powell outlined that tariffs are not a major inflation driver, which again aligns to kind of what Trump's been saying. But he also then went on to say that financial weight falling on importers and projecting tariff effects to conclude by late next year. All right, so I guess kind of okay. Kind of okay, but he couldn't resist, could he? Bring it up. Talk about tariffs, all right? We literally haven't spoken about tariffs now for about 4 weeks. Boom. Get your tariff news. Anyway, I was just going to say loads of accounts keep adding me on Discord saying they're you, bro. Yeah, they will. The best thing to do, by the way, and I don't know how like many Discord things you're in, just turn your private messages off. That's all I've done. No one messaged me on there. I literally just turn them off. And then if you need to connect, then just connect through Discord. But yeah, I promise I won't message anyone. If you want to get hold of me, get in the Discord. My name is in red. Just type in the general chat and I'll message you in the general chat. That way you know it's exactly me. My name is, I'm the only one in red. Worth it. There's literally nothing else we can do about it, unfortunately. But yeah, anyway, Powell outlined also that the tariffs are not significantly influencing consumer inflation. This is where PCE and CPI in the next report could be pretty interesting. Imports rather than consumers are bearing most of the burden on the recent tariffs. Okay, fine. Fine, Jerome Powell. He also went on to talk a little bit about persisting, particularly on the longer term effects of tariffs, but the Fed doesn't want to under or over tighten. He stressed risk management approach. Okay, that's fine. I'm just on yours and the other guy. That's all. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, nice. The reality is that by being non-committal, they're almost being unnerving in markets. Basically, again, they position themselves between officials such as Bowman and Stephen Mirren, both of which have been very much aligned to rate cuts. And the other end, which is obviously Goolsby, basically saying that, oh, tariffs are going to completely shaft the market and, we should be really, really nervous. Equities look highly valued as well as the stock market. And this was always going to be a little bit of a problem, right? Obviously, we live in a little bit of a microcosm when we talk about cryptocurrency and obviously the bits we live in. The broader, market economics, you go, well, okay, do I need to cut rates because the jobs market's not great? However, you've got the S&P rallying and all the rest of it. That's why the tariff conversation came up. But, worthwhile thinking about. And we'll see where this plays out. But look, in the 2018-2019 US-China trade skirmishes, market assets initially reacted with volatility. However, recent data indicates that they're more subdued effect on inflation. That's with the delay with that China news. So, good. Right. Morgan Stanley, though, with all of that, getting involved in the markets. Look at this. Morgan Stanley now announcing to roll out its proprietary crypto trading service on the E-Trade platform the first half of 2026 through a partnership with digital asset infrastructure firm Zero Hash. Pretty interesting. All right. So, Aptos, what's going on, man? Where have you been? Missed you. Pretty interesting that you've got all these banks now positioning themselves when all of a sudden the market was just a little bit uneasy. E-Trade clients will be available to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, making it one of the most significant steps yet by Wall Street Bank to fold digital assets into mainstream brokerage services. What? Pretty interesting. Yeah, Morgan Stanley getting bullish. Fed cuts, again, obviously this is a little bit more about Powell, but yeah, look at this. We talk about Fed. We don't need to talk about this. The looming concern, though, is absolutely on the jobs market, all right? So, again, labor market weakness after the Fed's first rate cut in 9 months. And actually, we totally and utterly have priced out that move, and now no one particularly cares. So, is more rate cuts the answer? Maybe not, right? Maybe not. And not that many people want to do it. It's why I've said all along, it's not necessarily about rate cuts to pump markets. It's about the freaking money printer. And we touched on the money printer yesterday. We have to go on the daily here to look at this. But we did talk about this, and we talked about the fact that M2 should be going up. Now, you'd argue maybe we're offset a little bit. Maybe we need to offset a little bit more. But, maybe we're just a little bit behind. And then we need to start seeing this print up. M2 explosion starts in October. Now, again, I still want to be very optimistic about where September is going to finish. Again, we're only on the 23rd. We've got like a week and a day left, so which is fine. But M2 is certainly the one we need to keep an eye out for. And I know some people think it's nonsense, but certainly global liquidity is going to be the answer. And then finally, look at this. Pay attention to Bitcoin tomorrow. Pretty interesting. Anyway, what's this all about? Well, guess what? Parsons argued that Bitcoin has historically lost value every time between September 16th and the 23rd, with the average drop around 5% during this period. He claimed this prediction was confirmed by the recent drop in BTC price. Peterson said he distances himself from technical analysis methods. Said, I don't believe in technical analysis. Sounds like someone else I know. I believe in repeating cycles. So the debate will be, what happened on the 24th of September in 2024? Well, let's take a look because it might be pretty interesting. And the answer was it was a red month. So there you go. This is obviously the August and September. The 24th was here. It was a pretty flat day. Before, guess what? We then saw a nice little move to the upside. From the lows of 26,000, within the space of about a week, we moved 11%. Before then, kaboom, moving a significant about $15,000, absolutely skyrocketing over 25%. So post September 23rd, 2024, you saw a 35% move in the price of BTC in little over a freaking week. Now, again, if you want to align yourself to Peterson here, then maybe that's what you say. You go, well, look, I believe in repeating cycles. The analyst stated that his chart shows that Bitcoin could reach 200K within 170 days and that he sees probability of this happening as over 50%. Not financial advice. But you could argue and say, well, okay, we're going to do 10% from here. 10% takes us nicely back up to 123,000. Retest of the all-time high over the course of maybe the next week. And then you get into early October with a rally then up to, 150, 35% from the 124. Another 24% from 124. Taking us to none other, everybody, than $145,000. Seems like a pretty logistical move for me. BitsPlays. Holy crap, BitsPlays. Where have you been, bro? Misty Moon, sweet. What's going on, Devo? I just see a message that says, hey, to bit. Tap the screen. Yeah. What's up, people? Team Unique. What's going on? Welcome to you. The sentiment and price action is exactly the same as pre-election last year. Yeah. If they manipulate the price lower, it's perfect time for whales to get back in. That's also true as well. That absolutely could be true. So worth noting, by the way. Charts, look, there's definitely an argument for repeating patterns versus specific technicals. Anyone can guide me towards a good exchange where I can buy and sell crypto with no KYC and low fees. I mean, the honest answer is yes. Check out the link in the description. Let me just mute TikTok. BITUNIX, you actually have got a couple of days to get over there. Check out the link in the description. No KYC available all over the world. And you get 40% rebate on your deposit. So check the link out in the description for BITUNIX. Worth it. Right. Good. Gala to $1. Done about that. Anyway, why did September rate cuts didn't move the market up? Because they weren't as big a conviction as many people thought. And it was almost like a forced hand. If you like, basically, it's like that thing, isn't it? Where enough people were going, you better cut the rates. You better cut the rates. Jerome Powell was probably thinking, we just need to do a token gesture here. Otherwise, I'm literally going to get fired. And I generally think that. I think it was a token gesture as opposed to anything that was at a macroeconomic level. So that's why we didn't really get it. The unemployment data is going to be the one we need to keep an eye out for. Is this going to play out a bit more favorably? We will see. Okay. Good. Sounds gone. Oh, it should be okay now, I think. Hopefully. Right. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Close that. Keep that up. I guess it was better when watching Loose Wing. I mean, that's true. Tomato was bored. There was nothing else to tell it. Come on. I didn't watch the Powell speech because I couldn't be bothered watching it. Yeah, do you know what? It was one of those where I noticed it was on later on and I was like, right, okay, fine. I'll probably just need to listen in a little bit. See if it's worth it. But yeah. Told you yesterday about Hemi. I hope you got in. I did not. Maybe I should have done. Man, I need to listen to you guys more. What the hell is wrong with me? I was late to Asta. I didn't get into Hemi. What was the other one you guys told me about yesterday? I'm going to look at this. I'm going to be so disappointed. This isn't the DeFi section, by the way. We've got 5 minutes left. Oh my God, it's up 52%. What? Honda, although it looks like, oh my God, it looks like it went even further. It looks like it broke 20 cents today. Jesus. Need 2x more rate cuts before 2026. Well, look, lots of people are predicting significantly more. We need the freaking money printing to come on. That's what we need. We need, like, I'll tell you what would be great. We get another revision to the tariff money, which I think would be crazy. Oh, did you? I mean, you got to understand. I mean, I get about 100 messages a day going, hey, Tubit, check a look at this coin. You go, boom, and you're like 91% down. You're like, oh, that looks like a brilliant project to get involved in. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me. BitsPlays mentioned, yeah, exactly. Trump mentioned tariffs. So we'll come back and look at that, but that's a pretty decent chart. So, I mean, again, I talked about this at the start of the week. As long as we can avoid the T word, we were probably going to be okay. We didn't. Therefore, we'll sort of lick our wounds and see what it looks like. We haven't got a lot of data to come in that's going to, bolster the market, give us some optimism. It's going to be pretty boring. Tomorrow, we don't have a lot going on, I think. Yeah, loads of, I mean, it is literally a super boring day. Mortgage indexes. Holy crap. Imagine that. Thursday is Goolsby's speech, so whether that's going to be anything worthwhile thinking about, I don't know. He's probably going to be pretty bearish on the market, as well as the 4-week average on jobless claims, which obviously previous 240 consensus and forecast is actually up again, so we might see a little bit more pain on Thursday. But good news, we do get an update to the Fed balance sheet, so that could be good. What do you think about the plans, Axler and Flare Network plans, XRP lockups? Yeah, I like it. And I like the fact you get 8% of staking rewards on your XRP if you go to the Flare Network. I actually talked about it in my latest XRP video that I launched later on today. I actually think there's some good news coming. And Flare, we've talked about Flare a while. The fact they're doing that is good news, I think. Certainly, yeah. Hey, Tibits, how you been? Twinkie Buns? I'm good, Mike. Good to see you, buddy, as always. Alts are back to June. What? Yeah, I know. Alts definitely are not playing out favorably. Altcoin season is officially on the pause, all right? Which is fine, by the way. Don't worry about it. That's my opinion anyway. We are at 69, which actually isn't that bad if you think about it. We're at 69, blow off top. 75 is what they deem as altcoin season. It's not the craziest number in the world, all right? It's not the craziest number in the world, so yeah. yeah, I see it on the staking. Yeah, it's like 8%. It's pretty good. What's up, mate? What have I missed? XRP, Shine, X, Detailing. What have you missed? Market's a bit naff today. Jerome Powell dumped the markets, as always. I bet Nancy Pelosi was short in the market again, but yeah, doesn't mean, though, that it's bad news. Deb, 1974, what's going on? Welcome into you, my friend. Hey, apparently Solana is following the live creator. What's going on, Solana? Hope that is actually the Solana as well. That'd be ace. That would actually be ace if that was the actual Solana. Hit me up, Solana. Let's do it. I want to be the very best. A Solana ambassador. Boo, 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 boo. Hanging out, hoping charts. Yeah, fingers crossed. Crackerjack's here. What's going on, buddy? John Shaw's in the building as well. Yeah, so altcoin index looking pretty bearish. You can see here where it sits. Interesting enough, IP, which is, yeah, interesting. Moving. MNT, Crowcoin on the course of the 90 days. Don't forget, these are some of the bigger winners over the course of the last 90 days. Look at ETH, 68%. Pretty bullish. Pi down 57. Aptos, you see the CEO of Aptos is going over to the CFTC. But pretty interesting if you ask me. Pretty interesting if you ask me. So, yeah. All good. All good if you ask me. Too many crypto, do you know how to get a man? Oh. Do I? Or I can. We're talking all about cryptocurrency. Oh, Zebek. Come on, Shine. You know, I mean, I'm pretty good at keeping up with the chat. You don't have to type it 50 million times. Down 6%, completely wiping out pretty much any gains from yesterday, albeit still not down to the low levels of 3824, so watch out for that. John, no, they're in. It's only on a Sunday, mate. We literally just do an half-an-hour call on a Sunday for the 5 people in the investment group. So you're definitely not missing anything. Definitely not missing anything at all, mate. Don't worry about it. Don't forget, tomorrow, though, it is TikTok double stream where I'll be live streaming with none other than Crypto Vern and myself, bringing it fresh on TikTok. So we do 2 streams tomorrow night. But you guys are crushing it tonight. So thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate it. Only up for Sol. Yeah, I mean, look, Solana, albeit breaking down out of that support, actually still looks pretty solid. I think we could come a little bit lower. 210 would be where I'd be looking for a little bounce on Sol. But yeah. So the investment group is a group of 5 people that basically, I think it was like 6 months ago, maybe even a year ago, all put a set amount of money in, and then we meet every week to kind of talk about whether it should be in this project or that project, with the goal of trying to turn we're trying to turn 10 grand into 100k. That was the plan. Hasn't quite gone to plan, I've got to be honest. It's okay. I think we're in some good projects. I think we'll have to see. But yeah, that's what it is. The thing with the channel, by the way, and if you're brand new here, we've done all sorts of stuff. How many people did we put through technical analysis course? Like 10 people or something? The channel paid for people to go and do a technical analysis course. We had some crypto miners, which I mean are basically non-redundant now. They don't really do anything, but we had some miners that we were doing. Yeah, we've done all sorts of cool stuff on the channel. It's worth being part of the channel. That's my opinion. I just seen the channel open and thought everyone must be in here. Yes, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it, John. Honestly, it's fine. It's fine. It's not one of those like weird things where it's like, oh my God, John Shaw's here. Don't say anything. It's just, it would make no sense to anybody because obviously we're just talking about, talking about other things really. So yeah. 10 times, it was a $100 course. Yeah, we put 10 people through. We'll do that again in the bear market, by the way. We'll definitely do that in the bear market. I smashed the like button 5x's, only counted once. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I appreciate smashing that like button to a brand new all-time high. We're all for it. But yeah, we'll do that again in the bear market for sure. We'll be putting people through technical analysis courses, just trying to do things that are a bit cooler. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of keeping it fresh and trying to just do things a little bit differently. So yeah, good. Good news. Right, BTC 90k soon. Do you think? Man, people are super bearish right now. Super bearish. 90k. 90k is a big old dump, isn't it? 90k. I mean, 23%. I just don't see it. I know we've seen these in the past, but I just kind of feel like I don't see a 25% dump on BTC. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I totally get it wrong. I think 108's a possibility, Nacho. I definitely think 108 could play out. If you fib this from the all-time high to the previous, basically the move that sort of started all this on, then you start to get to a pretty interesting price range. Definitely. You start to get to a pretty interesting price range. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. It's there, isn't it? Yeah. So you start to get to a pretty interesting price range here. Look at 108, 190. Could retest 382 Fibonacci that we were at the end of August. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Hopefully Hopefully we don't get that, but we do need some macro news. Otherwise, we're kind of in the shit, really. Thought BTC was due a bull run. I mean, so did I. The thing is, right? Markets can't go forever. They've got to do this. People have got to sell at levels to allow people to buy back in. That's just life. The CME gap at 93, yeah. I mean, everyone still bangs on about that CME gap, and we haven't got to it yet. But, I mean, look, it's not out of the realms of possibility. Bitcoin down to 1% on the day. So, you know, we are bleeding out a little bit. But, yeah, I think we even sponsored it through the marbles races, didn't we? No, it was before that. It was way before Marbits. Way before it. It was just sponsored by the channel. Any prediction on XRP? New all-time high time frame. I mean, my stance on XRP, by the way, given the fact that there's kind of all the stuff going on in the background, banking licenses, whatever you want to call it, I think XRP is going to be similar to what I talk about when I talk about Chainlink, that will sort of wake up one morning, it'll do another 4 or 5%. I mean, we've got to see what happens in the market. October is going to be important for sure. I still am in a world where I think, you know what? Well, we should finish September pretty optimistically, I think. Annie says XRP to world. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Hey, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for smashing the like button on TikTok as well. Got like nearly 70 odd people here right now. So again, our cool little community is growing nicely. So I appreciate you guys. Likewise, obviously here on YouTube as well. The OGs, I appreciate you guys as well. Make XRP great again. Let's do it. Let's do it. Good. Right. If you got any coins you want to take a look at, any thoughts, any opinions, by all means, let us know. We can bring them up and we can take a look at what's going on with them. Nothing too much going on out there in the world. It's all a little bit quiet. Meme coin season. Look, everyone's still holding their breath. I think I thought meme coin season was coming back, in fairness. I really did, actually. But, you know, we need broader market movements. And I think memes won't, in this market, particularly right now, I don't think memes push the market themselves. We all saw that in 2021, so we'll see. JJ says, Guns token bought today. Nice. Beast Seller, my guy. We looked at that yesterday, didn't we? Is it done something different today? Beast Seller, it's down 0.2%. What? Bro, come on. Come on, bro. What? Yeah, I mean, it needs to get a freaking move on and do something cool. But yeah, this has been awful for alts. The real winners sold in January. Yeah, I mean, look, December was a pretty good month for altcoins, wasn't it? It was a pretty good month. All depends when you got into them. Look, I think we've done pretty well on some coins. It's just the ones that we've held for the longest time. I mean, look, Ethereum's still holding up pretty well. You know, ETH's worth more now than it ever was. AVAX finally started moving today as well. I actually thought we were going to get that 36 target price range that we had. Didn't quite get it. But AVAX actually holding up again pretty well on this. So we called this move a while back and you know, perfectly hit that level. So, you know, AVAX actually having a pretty good day. Obviously, the story of the day, Asla is just crushing, isn't it? But still feels very FOMO driven if you were to go and get into that for sure. For sure. FTX, allegedly, we're going to start seeing that $1.6 billion coming back into the market, although they're suing Galaxy Digital, I think. But yeah, we'll see. Chill still is a great course for basics, but there is so much more to learn about crypto. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good. A few done well, but it's not a market-wide sustainable move. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Naturally says I'm betting on Aikido. That's my big. Oh, I saw someone talking about that today. I definitely. Oh, did you put it in the? Did you put it in the Discord? I feel like you might have done. AKEDO. Yeah, where is that though? It's not a Dex that I can see. Yeah, I thought. Yeah, okay. I did see that. AKE. Oh, there it is. $36 million market cap. Yeah, down. It's down 14% on the day. 47 milli. When did it launch? August. I mean, it's up versus August, up 188%. It's up on the month. It's up on the 7 days, actually. So just today, it's having a bit of a shit day. Down 15%. I don't know anything about it, by the way. What's it on? BNB? Looks like it's on BNB. I'm solo on that. Hey, look. Sometimes the best projects are the one you get into by yourself when you've got no concerns about anyone else. No concerns of anyone else. So, yeah. It is what it is. By the way, just letting you guys know, because I don't know if many people were in the Marbits Telegram, but worth just taking a look at this. This is not financial advice, by the way. I'm just telling you that things are moving along nicely. If you want to take a look at something cool, then I recommend checking out wreckedrabbit.com. This is not a shill or a trade promotion, but if you want to check it out, this could be a pretty interesting meme coin that's coming soon. Head on over to the website, take a look at what's going on with it, and see what's going on with Wrecked Rabbit. You can see the contract address coming soon. If you're interested, then yeah, go and have a look. Go and follow the socials, all the rest of it. All will become apparent soon, I think. Right, good. Even with the dip, I'm still up. It's got good potential. Hey, fair play. Yeah, if you could be up on a dip, then, I mean, that's a winning recipe right now, isn't it? Dave Collins, what's going on? Happy to catch another live. Hope everyone's having a good day. Yeah, mate, we're all better for you being here. Definitely. Wrecked. Ah, never mind. That's a new one. Yeah. Yeah, not the drinks one. Maybe it's a play on it. But yeah, check it out anyway. Check it out. Join the Telegram. It will be worth it, in my opinion. Not financial advice, obviously. I'm just kind of putting something on your guys' radar, but yeah. To be getting into the XCL pre-sale? Yes, I think so, yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so, but I will. I think I said this the other day. I'm going to go. I've got a number in my head that I want to get in. So I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to go in with 50% of my allocation, and then I'm going to go in 50% post-launch. We'll see what happens. Even to what's your prediction on Casper, as in the CASPER, as opposed to the KASPA? I don't really have much to, if I'm honest, I don't really have a lot to say about it, other than I don't know how it comes back. If this is what you mean, yeah? It's doing 3 million in volume. It's $123 million market cap, and it's super low on volume. So they need to do something crazy to kind of, you know, to kind of bring it back. Yeah, Grippy's doing okay, actually. Grippy's doing all right. It's at 1173. So that's still holding up. Remember, we called that in the Alpha Signal group at 700K. So you would still be at what? 1.5x. So you'd still be up if you got it on the call in there. It did actually rally to what? Like 1.8 million or something like that. Mike, did you put a link in here to Wrecked Rabbit? No, I did not. But I can do. There you go. There you go. ReckedRabbit.com. It's easy. I think we're already in a bear market, friend. No, come on. Don't ruin my day. We're not in a bear. No, I don't believe we are. I mean, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. It would. And by the way, I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way. It would be the worst bull market in history. It will have been the only bull market in history that none of the top 30 indicators ever hit. We would go into a bear market after never really seeing the top. Remember, I've said this before, by the way. The bull markets don't end on really negative sentiment. They end on like people going crazy. Let me ask you this question. How many stories have you read about people turning $50 into $1 million? Basically none. None, which means we're not in a bull market. Sorry, we're not in the bear market. That's my opinion. That is all to come. Is my view anyway. Very nice bull run for BNB holders. Yeah, I mean, we talked about BNB. I actually did buy some BNB. I bought some way ages ago, but yeah, got some in recently. I say recently, it was like, I don't know, like 650 or something like that, I think, when I got in. So yeah, pretty happy where BNB is. As I am with a number of other coins, by the way. I mean, I'm hoping that Aerodrome, the fact it's now at 1.1%. Oh, who was asking about staking Aerodrome? Is it anyone that was here? Because I'll show you how to do it right now. Someone was asking about that in the Discord, and I haven't got round to doing a new video, but I can literally show you right now if anyone's interested. Only top 20 was safe plays this cycle. Yeah, I mean, that's true. I mean, outside of some. So if you are interested, by the way, and I've been staking Aerodrome for, man, literally the longest time. The longest time. Basically, heading over to aerodrome.finance. This is obviously the main website for it. You need to make sure that you have Aerodrome in your wallet, as well as whatever the pairing you're going to pair it with. Okay, so for example, here is all the possible liquidity pairings that you can have, and basically what you're doing is you're going to fund with your cryptocurrency into certain pools, which will then generate you some revenue. So for example, I would always suggest go on to basic. This is basically like super easy. If you're on advanced, you are having to predict price movements, which becomes a bit more difficult. And you're basically going to pick whichever one you want. So you can see here, USDC, Aero, you got Wrapped ETH versus MS ETH, Wrapped ETH and USDC, all have equivalent ratios at which you can do it. So for example, USDC to Aero is going to give you 25%. Obviously with this though, USDC is not going to go up in value. So I have it on this one, which is the wrapped ETH and Aero. Why? Because I'm hedging my bets not only to grab 9%, which, by the way, this was 160% when I first started staking this. Basically, you're then going to click add liquidity. It's then going to bring up what you've got in your wallet. So make sure you have wrapped Ethereum and you've got Aerodrome, and you simply input what you want to put in there, and then you're going to click deposit. It's basically like a staking pool. It is that simple. Follow the on-screen instructions. Again, this isn't financial advice, by the way, but follow the on-screen instructions. Deposit. Before you know it, boom, it's in and you are earning. You could have some bigger ones. You know, you can get some bigger APRs. For example, you've got Ripe and Wrapped Ethereum giving you over 287%. But understand, some of these are going to be so volatile that you're almost going to lose everything without getting anything. So be mindful of what you do. But if you've got my advice, Wrapped Ethereum with Aero, it's a golden ticket. And yeah, and then what happens then is you have in your dashboard, you can see here that this is what I've got staked here and here. This is the APR I'm earning, and then these are the emissions. It's super, super slow. Now it's down at like 10% basically. But hey, look, at the minute, am I going to be looking to trade this? No. So I'm like, okay, fine, cool. Well, I'll just hold my Ethereum in here. I'll hold my Aerodrome in here. Bear in mind that if they do anything with the base chain, this thing could absolutely skyrocket. And yeah, there's a rumor that you could even get qualified for the airdrop of the native L2 base chain token. So that's why I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll just keep it in there, see what happens. But yeah, that's how you do it basically. I've been staking in there. No, it's not locked. It's not locked. You can withdraw anytime. So you can see here, look, there's a little button that says unstake. Click, jobs are good on. Jobs are good on. So it's not like Jupiter that's a 30-day unstake. Solana's similar. So you can literally just unstake it. So yeah, super easy. Super easy. Lee Smith, what's going on, buddy? You see Grot getting pushed tomorrow. Was this what everyone's telling me about? Some sort of coin on Stream Elements doesn't use the link for Stream Elements. Oh, did I delete it? That's annoying, isn't it? Okay, I'll fix that. I'll fix that. Is that what some people messaging me going, oh, have you heard about the big TikTok coin coming tomorrow? I really haven't, by the way. I mean, I am. Thanks, Jesse. I am terrible at it. Let me just copy that. And then I can do it here. Do not buy my opinion. I mean, look, if you can get in early enough on particular TikTok coins, then, you know, all right, fine. If you don't, then it's definitely not worth it. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Right, hold on a minute. Timers. Discord. There we go. Save. Bosh. Dunzo. Astra, I keep seeing everywhere. Yeah, Astra's been moving. Look, I think a lot of people are bullish on it. I have got into it. I've bought in and sold it twice now. But yeah, I mean the chart's playing out. It looks like a freaking meme coin, for Christ's sake. But it's playing out pretty nicely. I mean, this can probably go now, in fairness, but you know, you got the initial pump, the cup and handle pattern. You know, is it going to blast off? Maybe it could become the big perp dex. You know, it's doing bigger volume and revenue than Hyperliquid. And look where Hyperliquid is, like $30 a coin. Like this thing could go fucking crazy. It's 7 million was bundled to 2, then KOL got into 5. Good luck with it. What's it called? Not financial advice, by the way, but I'm always curious about what coins are doing what. What's it called? D what? Let's have a look at it. GRODT. That's it. GRODT. Grod. Get rich or die trying. Oh my God, what the hell is this? It launched 2 hours ago. Yeah. It's up 326,000%. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, so the top two. So yeah, there's a fucking shit ton of. Oh my God, look at this. There's $250,000 in the top 2 wallets that haven't sold anything. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, there is a lot of money sat in that. That could annihilate this chart. Yeah, this would be a very, very high risk play. Now, if it keeps pumping to oblivion, then fine. But yeah, there's a lot of money sat in some of those top wallets for sure. For sure. But I mean, as crazy as it sounds, I haven't seen anything about it. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's a big thing. I don't know. Powell speech today points to caution on the future rate cuts. Yeah, unfortunately, market didn't like it. Exactly that. It's 7 million was bundled to 2. Was what? Bundled from what? It's 7. Oh, it's 7 million bundled to 2. Then KOL got it to 5. Right. Okay, I'm with you now. Astra is DeFi and BNB, Perpetual's BNB chain ecosystem. Yeah, exactly. Like it's the hyperliquid of the BNB chain. So yeah, could be a good one. Could be a good one. Craig, who hasn't gotten wrecked. Exactly. Ape in time. What do you think? Get back into Asla. I mean, it's good. It's moving again. Man, there's no way I'm buying it. And if it goes to $10, I'm happy for everybody. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy for everybody. Fine. I've made some good money on the trade up, and yeah, and then equally on the downside as well. I shorted it, so I'm cool with it. It's done well for me today. It's done well for me. All right, we got breaking news coming in right now. Breaking news. Is this right now? 2 hours ago, breaking SEC approves long-awaited Ethereum ETF. The Securities and Exchange Commission has approved Grayscale's Ethereum Trust ETF and Ethereum Mini Trust ETF products under a newly adopted generic listing framework. According to a statement dated September 23rd, New York Stock Exchange Act announced that both ETFs will now be listed under the Rule 8.2 generic. Previously, these products were listed under the Rule 8.201 with required a special approval process. Nice. Thanks, Alvin. Appreciate it. Good news. Could be the start, hopefully, of some things to come, specifically when it relates to ETFs. Maybe we start to see that. Maybe this is all a big ruse in the market that's all chilling out, and then all of a sudden it's going to be like kaboom, or off we go. Can someone just make a token called Gary Gensler? I think it's been done. I actually think it's been done, personally. They will have definitely made it at some point. 2.3 billion volume in the past 24 hours, 3.1 billion market cap. What's that? Oh, on Asla. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And you got everyone pushing it. So that's how you get a token to go viral. I mean, it definitely helps if you've got CZ Binance pushing it for sure. But yeah, pretty good news. Pretty good news. Tim, it might not recover afterwards. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, the reality is that, I mean, potentially with Asla, it could end up being the direct competition to Hyperliquid. I mean, it's got to move. The debate will be, you know, what happens post the kind of, you know, excitement that we are right now. But I mean, 17%, wild, isn't it? It is freaking wild. Tim, are you still holding this down from 140? I think Tim got in at 140. So you literally did get the bottom as well, didn't you? That is a nice. That was it. That would be a nice trade. That, Tim. That's a nice trade. Kudos to you, my man. 140. Beautiful. Beautiful. Damien, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, nice, Tim. Yeah, it's a great call. Look at that. 140. Kaboom. Nice little mover and groover. Yeah, I ended up DCAing and got to like, I think it was like 142. But yeah, when this rallied over $2, I was like, yep, I'm going to sell this. And I did the usual thing. Is Vern here, by the way? Before I actually, before I say anything, if Vern's here, I won't say out. But if he isn't here, then I'll say, yeah, I full clip the entire bag like I normally do. Talked about this last week. The fact that if I just learned how to keep moon bags, I'd probably be way better off than I am now. But I just think to myself, right, I'm done with this. Move on. Let's go and find something else to get wrecked on. CZ tweeted this at 17 cents. Wish I bought more when I saw that tweet. Yeah, I'm following CZ. I can't believe I didn't get that tweet. Ridiculous. If the Fed don't cut rates in October, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I need Solana back at $8. Yeah, I need XRP at 30 cents. I'd buy some more then. Oh no, Crypto Vern just joined the live stream. No, I'm kidding, Vern. That's why we're in a bear market. Inflation will not quit and investors are gone. I mean, maybe. Ben Lum, what's going on? Welcome in, buddy. The thing with inflation, though, you've got to think the tariff idea may support inflation. May support it. We'll have to kind of wait and see, really, I guess is where I'm honest. 40, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. I mean, what is inflation right now for the US? What's true inflation sitting at? I know it's not the most accurate measure, but it's slightly better than nothing, I guess. Let's take a look. So US inflation is currently sitting at 2.09%. I mean, that's not bad, is it? That's not bad, by the way. If you compare it to like the US, the UK, and other bits and pieces, then, you know, it's kind of all right. It's kind of all right, but still slightly elevated, I guess is probably where you get to. I thought there was a way you could turn this to not be super bright, but maybe there isn't. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, everybody. 3-1. Dennis? You will never be more bullish than the top commentator, 37 up. That's it. If XRP goes back under 50 cents, I'm selling the rest of micro. That's a statement if ever I've heard one, Craig. Love it. If XRP gets to 30 cents, I am selling Crow. Bullish. October might be the biggest month for XRP and Solana. I hope so. I hope so. I think, look, I think the nervousness for me anyway would be so much hype on October means that people are going to completely shit the bed when there's like a 5% move, and people may just end up getting absolutely mullered in October. But yeah. What's surprising this year is that the large pool of capital preferred gold as inflation hedge. Yeah, well, look, the reality is that, and I don't know if we can see this. Let me see if we can get this chart. I don't know if we can, by the way. But I was looking at this the other day, and let's see if we can find any of this data out. Because there was a view, by the way, that banks have been hedging with gold, and that's why gold's been going up. Now, I would have thought there was some way you could see this, but yeah, kind of. This kind of shows you what I'm talking about. So, TikTok, have a look at this. So, if you remember, this is kind of, I touched on this a little bit a while back, but this is basically the central bank gold net purchase. So, how much gold is being purchased by the world central banks and other institutions. And what you can see is that we've seen a significant tick up into 2025. So, again, you can see there's kind of, these are done by quarters, by the way. So, we saw quarter one, $248 billion, $166 billion. So the first sort of, back end of last year, so Q4 2024, loads of gold, eased off in Q1 2025, and then eased off again in Q2 2025. However, still significantly elevated from where we were previously. Look at the bull run of 2021. This is why I think the market was so crazy, because there was so much money being poured into the crypto market versus, I guess, here where you've got it pouring into the gold. So probably supports what we think, which is, people are going into gold as opposed to going into assets. What does that tell us? People aren't prepared to risk at the minute, which is probably a result of some of the inflation stuff that's going on. Crypto is extremely volatile, just as XRP has made millionaires. That's true. That's true. That's why we love it, though. That's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. If you can't handle the volatility, then go and invest in stocks. If you like the volatility, and you can minimize and you can reduce the volatility risk, I guess. But yeah. What's going on? Fairground is officially back from the fairground. Love it. Love it. If that same pool of capital went to BTC, we would be over 250K. Yeah. Well, something else I talked about yesterday, and equally talked about it on my Bitcoin update video that you should definitely see, is the federal, what is it called? What is it called? The Fed. Oh, man, we talked about this the other day, and I can't think what it's called now. What's it called? It'll come to me at some point. But I can't remember what it's called now. Man, that's so annoying. It's so annoying. No, not Fed now. It's I'll find it. I will find it. I will find it and I will tell you all about it. But we talked about it the other day and now I can't find it. It's called something like the total asset balance sheet or something like that. Basically what it is the evaluation of monetary spending when it comes to things like bonds, treasury yields, that basically what the Fed does is print money and then sends these out. They buy them and sell them, basically. That's what it is. And what they're trying to do is get back to this 850 billion, which they've been at for a while. We last saw them hit 850 billion just before the craziness happened in 2021. They are very close to hitting that number as we speak right now. Therefore, this could start to play out very favorably and certainly, therefore, could be in a world where that number begins to ease. They're going to be putting money into other things, which I think is important, but I can't remember what the fucking thing's called. I can't remember what it's called. Is it this? Man, I can't remember it. I actually can't remember what it's called. Because the other debate that everyone's having right now is the gold that they have that's valued at rates from 1970 something or other, which should be repurposed and revalued, which would give them more capital to go and spend. But yeah, No, it's not that. I can't find it. I'll have to try and remember what it is. X6 is a cycle over. I don't think so. So that's just my personal opinion, by the way. Remember, it's not financial advice. It's a blog talks about cryptocurrency on the internet, but I don't think it's over. And if it is, I'm be really disappointed, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Right. I can't find it. There is some interesting stuff though, and we can probably dive deeper into this. I'll actually have some content coming out. It's got things like this. Look, securities held outright by the US Treasury. You can see there that we were selling treasuries off. This is exactly what I was talking about to fill this pot of money. $850 billion. They sold over $1 million of assets over the course of, the last couple of years. So you start to go into it. Take a look at this for the last year. So when you hear Jerome Powell be like, we keep reducing the balance sheet, they're also doing this. This is to do with Treasury securities, notes, and bonds. So I just can't remember what the bloody actual report's called. Anyway, it's worthwhile looking at, in my opinion. Yeah, worthwhile thinking about. God candle on BTC. I mean, it's not a crazy God candle. We're over 112. We're over 112. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's pump it up. What number do I need to be looking at to see the God candle on BTC? I can't see it. I mean, I can see BTC is pushed above 112, which is kind of good news. XRP's gone green as well. So, we'll take it. We will take it. News. Always the same story. Nothing happens. Yeah. I'm going to say this might be your first bull run. Not a bad thing, by the way. It's not a bad thing. People just want the markets to go to oblivion every single freaking day. And we said this in the bear market. Many of you will know this statement that I talked about. If you pump too hard, you come too quick. That's the reality, right? It's over and it's finished, right? That's exactly the same when it comes to Bitcoin. If you pump too hard, then it's all over too quickly. And I think that's important. If Bitcoin Act gets passed for the 1 million USA BTC reserve, we'll get a God candle. I mean, that's true. Look, if Bitcoin in the 401k gets a bit more of an announcement, it will work. You've got to understand how that moves, though. People have got to go and buy Bitcoin. That's how it works. It's not going to work otherwise. If people think that it's overvalued at $112,000, it doesn't matter what legislation you pass. It doesn't matter what you do. You could say that every single US citizen or every global citizen is allowed to go and buy one Bitcoin at a discounted rate, will do nothing for the price. Nothing. So again, it's important that it's what people are prepared to buy. I'm not selling stay until the end of the bull market, 3 months at least left. Media knows what's up. Michael Saylor, Tom Lee, CZ and others went to Washington last week on this matter. I don't think CZ went. Tom Lee did and Saylor did. I didn't think CZ was there. But yeah, they were talking. Yeah, exactly. Look. If you can't see the writing on the wall, then I don't know what I thought 2bit said it was worldwide. Hey, Zbait, what's going on, Vincent? Good to see you, man. I think what's important to reference here is that there is a demand that we've never seen before at an institutional level to get into crypto adoption. Equally, you've got a president of the United States that has his biggest asset pile is in cryptocurrency, not real estate. That has flipped recently. So, he's not going to want to screw it over. Let's just call it what it is. Equally, you want to make sure that they're going to make the most amount of money, in the best possible time. So, worth noting. Man, this is going to really bug me that I can't think of what that tracker's called. Oh, well. It'll come to me eventually, I think. Maybe not. Who knows? Who knows? Hopefully we'll get there in the end. Anyway. Ask Alexa. Yeah, I just can't remember what it's called though. And I don't have an Alexa up here. All right, my Alexa's downstairs. Yeah, it's kind of. I'll find it. I will find it. Exactly. Tim from the family. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, media knows what's up. To be what's your prediction on the total market cap this cycle top? The Treasury General Account. This is what it's called. That's it. The Treasury General Account. I got there in the end. I think 10 trillion's a push. It's over. That'd be over double where we are. I would say about 7 to 8 trillion is probably where I get to. Probably more favoring 7 trillion. I think 7 trillion is like 160 on BTC. That's my view. But yeah, the Treasury. What did I say it was called? Oh my God, I can't even think now. The Treasury General Account, the TGA. Basically the borrowing from the Treasury to buy certain things. That's what it's about. So yeah. Take 2 EU stablecoin XRP comments. Yeah, could be good news. Right. Okay, here it is. Here it freaking is. Oh my God, that took way longer than it should have done. Right. Welcome everybody to the liabilities and capital deposits with FR banks other than reserves, the US Treasury General Account. Right. Basically, this is the value of liabilities that the Treasury has. And what we can see is that in the past, for example, go to the 10-year here. You can see here in 2020. So look at this, March 25th, 2020, right? Let's go. You need to go back on Bitcoin as well. This is important, right? I did actually talk about this on a video, by the way. So if you do want to see it, hey, TikTok, you need to see about this. I'm conservative. I think BTC 150, Tom Lee believes 200K. Yeah. Some people think it's going to go way higher, but anyway, right. Dead quick. Dead quick. Let's go back. So just for everybody, this is the liabilities and deposits with the banks other than reserve balance. Okay. So 2021, prior to the kind of craziness in the market, you can see here that the Fed was building this. $850 billion is roughly where they sort of want to get to. This obviously went way crazier, right? So go back to that time, 2020, right? So we're going back to March here in 2020. We do the 3-day actually, probably a bit easier. So we're back here in 2020, like welcome back. In March of 2020, almost to the point where, look, 16th of March is about as low as we got on Bitcoin. See there, 3,804. Okay. The bottom of here was the 18th of March. Okay. Tinfoil hat time. Yeah, definitely tinfoil hat time. I know it needs dark mode, but I don't think I can do anything with it. So here's the point, right? So what we saw then, and then we saw this kind of crazy accumulation over the period to the top that came in around July, August time of 2020. Okay. So again, this plays out here where you see this kind of little move all the way across to here. This kind of comes in at July, August, this bottom range here. So, this kind of whole section here. Then we saw probably the craziest bull market ever in 2021, right? We saw this massive run up all the way through, the peak coming in April 2021. Look at this. This is exactly the same as we walk across here. Then obviously all the way down to December, which again plays out perfectly, of course, to here, where we got the market top of 2021, then follow it down, doing something crazy, okay? Now, what do we now see? Well, look at this. The fact that we bottomed out here July 2025 when it comes to Bitcoin, okay? So how does this play out then back for us? July 2025, it's down here. We're pretty much as pants as we were, breaking previous all-time highs as we start to come in. What you can see here is the Fed is starting to accumulate more and more. And this, therefore, in my opinion, is going to start to play out. I think we're going to build over the course of the next 6 weeks. Then this would be the narrative that I would allow myself to say, well, 2026 could be. Okay. All right. That could be the craziest year yet. Why? You're going to have Federal Reserve money that's not going into buying liabilities, treasury stocks, and all the rest of it. And you may call me crazy. You may be like, 2-bit, you're full of shit. You talk about this nonsense every single night, and I'm sick of it. But all you have to do is look at what they're actually doing. They've been buying treasury yields, bonds, like fucking crazy people, like that you've never seen before. This all aligns. I'll give you an example, right? Only because this is easier and it's going to work out. ChatGPT, come here. What has the US Treasury been buying in the last 90 days, let's say, yeah? Let's say 90 days. This is where it gets crazy, right? This is where it gets crazy. Okay. So, what have they been doing? Heavy issuances of short-term treasury bills. For example, the record $100 billion in 4 weeks is what they bought back in. They also refinanced as well, right? The other institutions have been doing it. The Federal Reserve holdings, they continue to dump. Foreign holdings of US Treasuries are rising to record highs, $9.195 trillion, FYI, by the way. And the shift among bond holders, some foreign central banks and institutions have been moving away from long-term US bonds and notes, favoring short-term Treasury bills instead. Think about that. Why? So you ask yourself the question, right? Now, again, I'm not saying that this is going to be the thing to keep your eyes out for, but hands up, people are sick of this. But that's my opinion, all right? That's my opinion. The most bullish year ever. Could be. M2 looks a little bit decoupled at the minute, but not craziness. Gala, I mean, I just don't think it's worth it. It's just my opinion. By the way, we're nearly at 100 people in the TikTok live. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget to hit the follow button. I stream every single night, keeping you guys dialed into the market. If you want access to our trade group, alpha calls, brand new coins hitting the market, then become a channel member on YouTube or be a subscriber here, and you get instant access to our Discord, link in the bio if you're interested as well. The inflation risk is too high. I mean, it is a little bit. It is a little bit. By the way, we're not talking about this happening in the next week or two. You're talking, 6 weeks probably. Taking us well into the depths of October, which I think will become the decision time, which will be, October. Do we go into 2026 or not? Is that the end of the market? We'll see. We'll see. Sunny says Sol prediction for the end of September. Man, I mean, Sol's been doing brilliantly. I was hoping it's going to be way better than it would be. End of September. I mean, look, I'd hope Solana's back above sort of 250. That would be where I would hope to. That would put it back within the range that we've been talking about. I mean, the range, you can sort of do that really, isn't it? If you went end of September, the bottom low support, 231, upper range, 248, 250 is about right. Zach, Cookie DAO. Yeah, people have been talking to me about that. What people are forgetting is that Trump is not only the president of America, but he's his. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Would you buy 30-year debt at 5% knowing what's ahead with inflation? No. No, I wouldn't. Would I buy Bitcoin that is a hedge against inflation, knowing that the price is significantly going to go up and actually could offset it? By the way, the only reason I think they're not doing it, the 30-day volatility on Bitcoin is 25%. It's more than the VIX at the minute. That's why people don't like it. People are actually moving into gold, which is way better. It's like 6%. I didn't say much about Cookie DAO. I didn't say much. I just said people have definitely talked to me about that. I don't know too much about it. I think we've looked at it before, right? I don't know what it's doing now, though. Cookie DAO. Cookie DAO, yeah. Pairing against UC. Well, sorry. What's that? $31 million market cap. I mean, it's holding up all right. I don't know too much about it, though. That's my only critique, is I don't know too much about it. So I feel like I'm not in a place that I can really give my opinion. But I definitely have heard about it. It's definitely been brought up on this channel. And looking at the chart, it's definitely way down from its all-time high. So if it's got something crazy, then fine. That's my stance on it. I'm still saying consolidation until the end of the month. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think so. I think when people finally wake up, when people finally understand that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, then I think you could start to see some pretty interesting stuff. Until then, I think we'll have to sit tight. Don't forget, one of the other things to reference here, by the way, and we heard a little bit today, people keep buying Ethereum like crazy people. We saw that Bitmine bought 268,000 yesterday. There's been another announcement by ETHZilla that they're going to be buying way more Ethereum as well. So, we'll see. Maria, how do I buy Bitcoin? Great question. Find an exchange. My recommendation, if you're brand new to the cryptocurrency market, look for something like Coinbase. It's the most regulated exchange out there. It's not a financial shill, but I would start by researching the most you can. All right. If it's your first time ever looking at the price of Bitcoin, fine. Equally, I'd make sure you follow this account. We'll talk about it. Jump in the Discord as well. Ask any questions you want. Don't answer any DMs. Don't answer any random people telling you to send them this, that, and the other. Go to Coinbase or Binance. Buy Bitcoin over there. If you're buying like $100,000 worth, then you definitely need to do a bit more research. But if you'd like, you got a little bit, which I don't think is a bad thing, by the way, then yeah. Jesse, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's nearly 10:15. We're going to get it up and out of here. After the bull run, I'm investing in Coca-Cola. It's good long-term business and been tested by time. It's Wall Street crashed. I mean, that's true. That's true. Warren Buffett, by the way, he's investing in pool equipment. I don't know if you've seen that. He's like going in all in on real estate. Like, the view is that if inflation comes down, real estate market's going to boom. I don't know too much about the real estate market. It's definitely not my strong point, but yeah, a lot of people I think will be going into some element of real estate. Worthwhile thinking about. Anyway, Anyway, everybody, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a great stream. We appreciate you taking the time out and coming and hang out with us. Bitcoin 112. We managed to get it back above 112. You can all thank me by smashing the like button, hitting the follow button, and all of that good stuff. I'll probably will sleep after 4 a.m. Mate, I'm going to finish the stream now. I've probably got about another 3 hours work yet. So, yeah, hopefully you guys can stay bullish long enough that we will benefit big time in these rewards. But as ever, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. in the UK. Don't forget, it's a double stream tomorrow as well. You don't want to miss that one. So, yeah, until then, everybody, catch you on the flip side.